Hi everyone, this is Connie from Connie's Nails and Creative Creations. Today I am taking part in the Try It Tuesday. This is put on by Sammie from Unicorn Dust Designs, and her co-host is Theresa from Theresa B DIYs. And today I'm going to create 3 different projects that someone else has done, and I recreated them in my style. And this is the first one. It was Leah from the Jitter Blessings, and she was inspired from Pinterest to make this. And this is my creation off of the inspiration. Let's get right to it, and I'll show you how I did it. This was a Let It Snow sign from the Dollar Tree at Christmas time, and I'm just gonna take that apart. I'm gonna take the twine out, and I'm gonna pop the Let It Snow off of there, and I'll use that next year. I'll just put it in my stash, and we'll just because I'm not going to use it on this, of course. So it popped off pretty easily, so just going to take care of that. And then I'm going to be using the back side, so the front didn't bother me too much, but that had that sticker there, so I used my heat gun, and I'm trying to pull it off, and I'm going to tell you, it was giving me some fits. It didn't want to come off. I was able to get a little bit of it off, even with the heat, so in a second, I'm going to grab my sanding block, and I'm just going to sand that smooth where there's no edges, so you can't see it. And yeah, you can see I am just really fighting with this. And I think this turned out amazing for Easter. And yeah, this thing, it's given me problems after problems. But we'll get it here. Okay, here I am sanding it with one of my old sanding blocks. Like I said, I get it completely smooth where you can't even feel it when you rub your hands across it. Now I'm going to grab some of this Dollar Tree putty, and I'm going to fill those holes because I'm not going to be using those. So I'm just filling that, and that dries pretty fast. And I'm just going to, once it's dry, it only takes a minute or two, I'm just going to go ahead and sand over it. So once I get that completely smooth, and after it's dry, I grab my little ladybug vacuum cleaner, and the link is in my Linktree, and it's on Amazon. So I use that. Now I grab my chalk paint that I made, and I'm just going to paint the back of this sign. Now I end up doing 2 coats on this sign to get a full coverage. And yeah, I liked the way that it had the ridges on it, like it looked like plank boards, even though I'm not going to make it look that way. I just like the shape of it. And please don't forget, down in the description box, Sammie's and Theresa's channel links will be down there, as well as the link to the playlist. And if that doesn't work, I will have it in the first comment. Now I'm taking a little bit of Waverly Antique wax, and I'm just applying it, and then using a paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe it right back off. So, and it gives it that worn look. I really like this look. I just bought this a week or so ago, and I have used it already many times. I really like this antique wax. So I'm just getting that where I want it, and then I'm going to grab my white again, and that old chippy brush that I've had for years, and I'm just going to dry brush white on it because I just want a little bit more, and I'm going the opposite direction than what I was going, so it makes it look really cool. The texture on it is amazing. So I'm just getting it to where I want it to look exactly. Like I went over it several times, and it was just each time it was a really dry brush. Now I'm taking a paint marker, and I drew that line, and I meant for it to be bumpy. And now I'm taking a little paintbrush, and I'm going to paint along that, and then I'm going to add some thickness and bumps to make it look more like the terrain that it's going to be in. Then, once I'm done with that, I drew the lines with my paintbrush for the 3 crosses, and then I'm going to take that little tiny paintbrush and I'm going to fill it in with paint. Okay, now I'm taking some painter's tape and I'm just putting a piece of tape across there, and I'm going to write the letters on there, and I'm just kind of using sort of like a Ray Dunn style on these letters, and it just says he is not here on this top row. Then I'm going to take the tape off and put it down further, and then I'm going to write he is risen, and this is going to be in a different font. I'm just freehanding it. It didn't quite turn out the way I wanted, but I wasn't going to go back and try to paint over it, but so I just left it the way it is. The S isn't quite the way I wanted it, but oh well, it is what it is, and it's my creation. So once I get that done, there was a slight bow in this sign, and I dowels, and I'm just going to hot glue them on the back, and I ended up doing 2 across in one direction, and then I grab another one and used my miter shears, and I glued those in the inside. Now those miter shears are in my Amazon storefront, and the link is in my Linktree, and I have that in the description box. Now I'm taking a little piece of jute, and I have glued it on there, and I'm using a little piece of felt to go over it just to kind of secure it. I hope you guys really liked this. This was my rendition of it, and I hope it stands up. And this is project number 2. This was a creation of Sandra from the Schwalbens nest, and this is my creation. So I lost some footage where I do part of this. Now this was 2 little boxes from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm using the crafter's stick, the large ones from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut them at the top on an angle like the top of the picket fence. So, and I lost that footage. So here it is when it's already done and it's all glued together, and I've painted it white. Now I'm going to write on the front of it, and it's going to say, grow where you were planted. I can't remember. We'll see. But I'm going to use the painter's tape again, so I can get a fairly straight line, and I'm just going to freehand with a pencil, and then I'm going to go over it with paint and a small paintbrush. So actually I think I was going to use the paint pen with a paint marker. It was running out, so that's when I went ahead and decided to get my pencil and just pencil it in, and that way I could go over it with paint. And that ended up looking much better. And like I said, I just free-handed this. I don't have a Cricut yet. That's something I want really bad, but right now I don't have it. So I'm just going to write, like I said, freehand it, and I can erase it very easily and it comes right off. I made a mistake, so I had to erase it. So I'm just going to let you watch this process. Okay, here those blocks are together and the picket fence is together, and I painted it white. So here I'm putting floral foam inside of there, and then I'm going to use my little ladybug vacuum again, and I'm going ahead and gluing those in. And I'm just going to grab this floral from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to arrange that, and I hope you guys really like this. So here is the finished product, and then this is my creation, and then Sandra's from the schwalbens nest, this is her creation. I really enjoyed using it as an inspiration. Okay, on to project number 3. This was an inspiration from Theresa B DIYs. I lost a lot of footage, so I'm just going to have to kind of explain what I end up doing. So this is an old frame that I've had for many years, and I end up painting the frame white with my chalk paint that I made, and I put 2 coats on there. Now what the footage you're not going to see is I ended up taking some light green paper and a white paper. This was craft paper, and I'm going to make it look like a mat and then an inner frame. And I had this little wooden bunny, and I ended up, it was wood, and I ended up using antique wax on it. I did just 1 coat, putting it on and then rubbing it back off. And then I had some of the Dollar Tree rub-ons, these little leaves. I actually got these, Theresa B DIY, Theresa, she bought them for me and sent them to me. So I rubbed them on there, and I made a wreath, kind of like a basket. And then I put that all together, and I glued that little rabbit onto the outside of the glass. It was pretty thick wood, and I didn't want to end up breaking the glass, so I ended up putting it on the outside. And this is my creation. I hope you guys really like it. And here was Theresa's creation that I was inspired by, and I really loved this. That's why I fell in love with it and decided to go ahead and make it. Don't forget to go down to the description box and check out all these ladies' videos or their channel. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and give me a big thumbs up. And I love comments, so please leave me a comment. Also, don't forget to be the Bible that somebody reads today, as well as have a great, blessed day. Bye.